I'm going to show you here is a simple tool that might be able to be used to help training of one hand. And in particular, I just want to refer to this really simple model first, which is just that in each of our hemispheres of the brain, here left and right, we have a motor cortex. And the two hemispheres are connected by this really big band of fibers called the corpus callosum. That way they can talk to each other. And each hemisphere has a motor cortex which regulates movement of the opposite hand. Also, information like sensory information from that hand also traverses up to the opposite hemisphere or opposite motor cortex. And what I'm going to tell you is that even though the motor cortex is known for being active when we produce a movement, what wasn't known until a little bit more recently is that the motor cortex can also become active if we just watch perception of a movement. So, for example, this study here shows that just with a simple tool, which is a use of a mirror, the perception of looking into that mirror, the perception of that hand moving also makes that motor cortex active. And I'm just going to show you that demonstration. Okay, so first, what you might think you can do is just, let's say I have one hand that's got damage to it. Let's say in this case, long-term, some nerve damage, which has impaired its movements considerably. And then I have one hand that functions really well. The first thing you need to do is make that hand not so identifiable as being the left hand. So I'm going to remove my wedding ring. Sorry, hubby. And I'm also going to remove my watch. Now, you could think, well, how about I watch both hands while they're trying to do the exact same movement, and maybe the good hand will just help the not so good hand. Well, it might be the case, but you might argue, well, in that case, you've got this good model of movement and you've got a slightly impaired model of movement. And because of just what I showed you with the brain, those two might get a bit confused. So what could I do to overcome that? Well, one way is a simple use of a mirror. So here I just have a standard mirror from the $2 shop. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place that mirror in front of me. And so that it's sort of close to my midline, as you can see here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide my impaired hand behind the mirror here. Battery's low. I just got a signal, but we can get this. I'm going to hide that hand. What I'm going to do is I'm going to watch my good hand. I'm not only going to watch my good hand, but I'm going to watch its reflection in the mirror. And if I look into the mirror, it looks just like what I want my right hand, my impaired hand, to look like. So you see here, I don't have a conflicting model of movement because I see two copies of the good hand while I might be trying to move the other hand, the impaired one, but while it's not in my vision. Okay. So using that simple tool might be able to assist a person, particularly a person with injury to one hand. We have people who have, for example, had stroke, unilateral stroke, just to one side. And we use this sort of a tool to try to facilitate their training with one hand. Now, I always tell people, though, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm just a PhD, which means that I just do research on this stuff, but it really is real research. All right. Thanks.